Let me quickly touch on a subject matter to everyone, but especially to adult children with aging parents. The subject, worry. You worry that mom might fall again, knowing that a broken hip could initiate a rapid decline. You worry about Medicare and Medigap insurance. How do you navigate Medicare? Is it a puzzle to you like it is to me? You worry about dad, who won't give up the car keys despite 3 fender benders in the last 5 months. Sound familiar? Not sure where to find help? Contact our Silver Advisors. These professional care managers can be lifesavers, especially for those stressed out adult children of the sandwich generation, struggling to handle a busy work life, teenagers still living at home, and the complex issues associated with caring for an aged loved one, whether he or she lives close by or far away. Simply, Silver Advisors are problem solvers. They offer phone consultations on fall prevention, Medicare, and senior driver safety, among many other topics of interest that caregivers and seniors, and provide personalized written reports summarizing the discussions and recommendations. They clarify concerns, recommend a plan of action, and help prioritize next steps. Sometimes the best decision is to ask for help. Call 877-458-3767 for an appointment, or visit silverplanet.com and click Silver Advisors to learn more. Okay.
You know, before you say anything, I have to say I didn't go into very much about caregiving because I know that that is a very big part of your website, but of course that is a challenge, and I agree that so many women face today because everybody's living, well, your parents are going to live 20 years longer perhaps than they originally anticipated. That can be a financial as well as a physical and emotional burden. So I think your concept of having advisors available is important.
Thank you so much, and that's also what we feel like too, is that there's so many issues and topics out there that it's overwhelming. And
it really is.
Yes, and that's what we would like to narrow in and focus on at silverplanet.com. For all the listeners, you can use the chat window to ask questions or to provide feedback. But I do have a couple questions here for you.
Okay.
The first one is, do you think women are better off now than 20 years ago?
Well, I like to think we are, even if we are economically challenged. Our mothers, for the most part, were stay-at-home moms, so that when things happened economically, they just had to ride with the punches. They didn't have any control at all. At least to some extent, now we have control over our own lives and our own contributions. And yes, I think we're better off. I do agree with Maddie Dykewald that we will be the major economic force globally. The whole emphasis has shifted. And I believe that the solution, of course, as Maddie said, well, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all get along and we could have a gender-friendly world and perfect equality. And yes, and wouldn't it be nice if the moon was made of blue cheese, but it isn't. So I'm not sure how this will work out, but I think that very clearly women are going to be very dominating force, and I don't mean that in the strident negative way, but I mean that we're just going to have the jobs and we're going to have the education. We already have 30 more women than men. There's 100 boys graduating from college and 130 women graduating from college on average. You know, it's I think we're going to be better educated and therefore more employable. Yeah, I think we're going to be better off than we were, and I think we're better off now than we were.
I could not agree more. Another question that is posted is, what are the best industries for women 50-plus to consider transitioning into? In other words, what are the growth industries for women in the next decade?
The growth industries for women in the next decade. Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I think that anything that is working essentially on the internet is going to be tremendously important. I think that financial advising is going to be a big role for women. I think caregiving clearly calls to women because of our nurturing nature. Anything having to do with education, teaching, and health care is such a huge factor in the coming years that that's going to be a very good place for women to transition to. And when you think about health care or some of these things, you have to think beyond the box. Don't just think about nursing, for example, but thinking about administration, about, well, just there's a multitude of other tasks that are associated with health care, things like that. I think you need to look at the big field, and then you need to look at your skills and see how you can apply them to that job market.
Yeah, I think the job market is a hot topic right now on any angle. But another hot topic that question has popped up is the thought of caregiving anyone is overwhelming to me. What should I do?
Well, you should figure out what the caregiving task is going to be. I think that probably for me, where I would start would be to make sure that all of the paperwork is in place. I know that sounds tiresome and bothersome, but one of the things that I find that older people don't want to do is face up to the fact that they are mortal. None of us want to do that, and so they don't have these advance directives filled out. They won't discuss with you what kind of care they want. They won't suggest alternatives, and I think you need to initiate those topics. One of the things that I was really surprised to find out, because there hasn't been a lot of publicity about it, is that there is a new kind of directive that older people can sign, or that you can sign for them if they become, oh gosh, I don't know, what do I say, have Alzheimer's or some sort of disease like that. One woman was telling me, for example, that her father had Alzheimer's, and then she found out that they were going to install a pacemaker, and the problem became how will they turn the pacemaker off when the Alzheimer's had more or less taken her father's life from him, and it became quite a serious issue for them to deal with. So I think as caregivers, our first task has got to be to discuss these end-of-life issues with the person we'll be caring for, and then after that, I think we have to educate ourselves as best we can as to all the potential assistance that's available in your communities, and that differs, of course, from one place to another, but I think you need to learn what might be out there to help you.
All right, we have a couple more questions. The next one is, how do you get men to evolve from the old role expectations as today's women have?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm not even going to try to answer that one. I don't know how you would get men to evolve. I have spent too many years focusing on women, so I don't want to make a suggestion that way. I'm going to pass, okay?
All right, moving on. I think I have one last question. And it says, I recently relocated to OC after working for the same employer for 19 years. Does anyone have a resource website which provides a model for a resume? It's been so long since I've been on the other side of the interview table.
Yeah, I agree, and I understand that. And that is one thing that we do a lot with Reinvent Yourself. If you would send a message to WomanSage, if that person would send a message to WomanSage, we would find the local websites for her. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure who does that, but I do know that we have people who do that counseling, and there are some county offices, and there's a county program called One Stop that operates through Coastline College in Orange County that provides some some of that counseling. It will depend on what level of work she's looking for. I think that starting out at some of the community colleges that are offering programs might be a good way to at least begin to find a local resource if you're not in Orange County. If you are in Orange County, send us a message at womansage.org.
Thank you so much, Jane. Well, you're welcome. It's about time to wrap things up here. We hope everyone enjoyed this webinar. Please check out Jane's columns by visiting silverplanet.com and clicking Trusted Advisors, and visit her website at womansage.org. Last, please visit the silverplanet.com homepage and click Webinars to register for the next event, Reverse Mortgage Your Way to Retirement, which will be held on August 10th. And remember to tell your friends and family about Silver Planet. Thanks so much for everyone for attending, and thank you to our fantastic guest. Great job, Jane.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.